Hello, this is mandible bone, and this bone is largest bone of the facial skeleton, and it is quite a large bone, and it is strong as well. So mandible bone comprises of body. This is body of the mandible, and this is ramus of the mandible. Body joins the ramus, so body of the mandible and ramus. Now first body has got external surface. This is external surface, and here it is the internal surface of the body. So body has got external surface, body has got internal surface. Then we have body have got inferior border. This is inferior border of the body, and this is superior border of the body. Inferior body is thick, as you can see that this inferior thick border is also called base of the mandible, whereas this superior border, it is also called alveolar process because alveolar border, because it receives the sockets, it has sockets for the teeth. So first of all, external surface. Half of the mandible arises embryologically is derived from the right side, and half is from the left side, and these two halves, they actually meet in the center and results in the formation of a faint ridge which is called symphysis manti. Just beneath the symphysis manti, this is symphysis manti, just beneath it we have got triangular area. This triangular area is called mental protuberance. This is called mental protuberance, and inferior lateral angles of these mental protuberance we have got mental tubercles. So again, symphysis manti, mental protuberance, a triangular area, then inferior lateral angle of mental protuberance is mental tubercles. Then these two are actually incisive fossa because they are present just beneath the incisors. Then we have got mental foramen. This is called mental foramen. This mental foramen, from here mental nerves and vessels, they comes out of the mandible. This mental foramen it can be traced posteriorly within the bone. There is a canal, actually that is called mandibular canal, and that mandibular canal opens here, and this is mandibular foramen. This from here mandibular vessels and inferior alveolar vessels and nerves, they enter the mandibular canal within this bone mandible, and after passing through this bone they actually appears or they exit from this mental foramen. So now the internal surface, here we have got, this is mylohyoid line, this is mylohyoid, here mylohyoid line. This mylohyoid line actually starts inferior to the third molar tooth, inferior to the end, it moves anteriorly and forward. On both sides we have got mylohyoid line. Above this mylohyoid line, here we have got, this is fossa for lingual gland, and this is sublingual gland, and this is fossa for submandibular gland. So beneath the mylohyoid line we have got submandibular fossa, and above the mylohyoid line we have got sublingual fossa. And then in the midline on the either side we have got 4 tubercles which are called genial tubercles, 2 superior genial tubercles and 2 inferior genial tubercles. So here genial tubercles are a bit they are covered by the muscle belly, so it is not quite clearly visible, but actually there are 4 genial tubercles, 4 small spots. Then this inferior border is thick. In near the midline on either side, this inferior border has got digastric fossa, 2 digastric fossa. Okay, then we have got, this is mandibular foramen. Okay, this is now this is the ramus of the mandible. Ramus of the mandible actually has got anterior border, posterior border which is thick, then superior border of the ramus, then inferior border of the ramus. Again, see, look at it from the side view: superior border, anterior border, posterior border, and inferior border. Inferior border of the body, ramus of the mandible, actually continues with the base of the body. So base of the body continues with the inferior border of the ramus. Then inferior border of the ramus continues with the posterior border. and here they form angle of the mandible. Now this is called angle of mandible because posterior border of the ramus and inferior border of the ramus, they are continuous with each other. And this is anterior border, and this is superior border. Superior border is in the form of notch, which is called mandibular notch. Mandibular notch from anterior part of the, this is coronoid process. Coronoid, word coronoid came from the, wherever it is OID, for example CORONOID. OID means looks like. So this is coronoid process. It shapes like a beak of a crow, so that's why this is called coronoid process. And this is condyloid process. Condyloid process means head. It is expanded from side to side. It is expanded from side to side, and it is thick. And here, this below, just below the head, it is constricted part. This is called the neck of the mandible. Now here you can see anteriorly to the condyloid process, we have got a pit or fovea. This is called pterygoid fovea. This is called pterygoid fovea. And on external surface of the body of the mandible, here we have got a line which is called external oblique line or oblique line. This oblique line is a continuation of the anterior border of the coronoid process, and it moves downward and anteriorly and towards the mental foramina. So here is a small groove. This is small groove which actually moves from ramus to the body of the mandible, and it is just below the this mylohyoid line. This is called mylohyoid groove. And then we have got mandibular foramen. Mandibular foramen is an opening in the center of the body of the ramus on the medial surface. This one was the external surface. This one is the medial surface, and external and medial surface has got mandibular foramen in the center. And a bit about the few important muscles. This is the masseter muscle which gets attached here on the ramus of the mandible on the outer surface. Then we have got here coronoid process, here temporalis muscle, it gets attached here, temporalis muscle. And in pterygoid fovea there is lateral pterygoid muscle, they get attached here. And on the medial surface here, this is the medial pterygoid muscle which gets attached. So all the muscles of muscles of mastication, they actually attach on just ramus of the mandible, not on the body. Ramus of the mandible, all of them, they get attached here. This is temporalis, this is masseter, medial pterygoid, and lateral pterygoid. So this was a brief about the important bony features of the mandible bone. So mental foramen in babies, it lies near the inferior border. In adults, it comes to the middle of the mandible. In old age, mandibular foramen and mandibular canal, they move toward the alveolar process because all the teeth, they fall down and there is a resorption of the bone. So mental foramen along with mandibular canal, it moves upward from early years of the life till the last years of life, from infancy to the old age. Thank you very much.